English literature, some multiple choice question. So we will be start and number one questions. Which of the following poets is not considered an Elizabethan sonneter? Options is also given here. Number one, Sir Philip Sidney. Number two, Edmund Spenser. Number three, Samuel Daniel. And last, John Donne. So we who is not a considered an एलिजाबेथन सोनेटर्स, इनमें से एलिजाबेथन सोनेटर्स कौन से नहीं हैं तो आपको बताना है। तो इसमें से अगर मैं बात करूं तो जॉन डन मेटाफिजिकल सॉरी एलिजाबेथन सोनेटर्स नहीं है, बिकॉज जॉन डन इज अ मेटाफिजिकल पोएट known for his wit, inventive metaphors, and complex imaginary. And he also discussed about the religious, erotic, and philosophical themes. So he did not belong to the Elizabethan era, 1558 to 1603, but instead belongs to the Jacobean era, 1603 to 1625. But all the above three options given here, Sidney, Spenser, and Daniel, these are all the uh, sonnets, sonnets formed to explore themes of the love, beauty, and time, often employing conventional and poetic expressions. So all these three options, Sidney, Spenser, and Daniel, is an Elizabethan sonneter, but John Donne is a metaphysical poet. So option number four is not a correct option, because not an Elizabethan sonneter. So option number D is right answer. So next second questions. Which poetic form gained immense popularity during the Elizabethan age, particularly for expressing themes of love? Option: ode, sonnet, epic, ballads. So option is given here. There are four options, but correct answer is what? Sonnet is a correct answer, because the sonnet became the most popular poetic form during the Elizabethan age for exploring themes of love, beauty, and times. The forms of compact structure and fixed rhyme scheme allowed poets to convey complex ideas and emotions with a brief controlled space. So, William Shakespeare is also explained the sonnets' popularity during the periods helped establish it is a significant and versatile form in English poetry, influencing subsequent generation of poetic. In the Elizabethan poets such as Sir Philip Sidney, Edmund Spenser, and William Shakespeare employed and adapted the sonnet uh, form to create a some of the most enduring and influential works in the English literature. So, option number second, that means sonnet is a correct answer. Next, third questions. In Shakespeare's sonnet number 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Which literary device is primarily used to make the comparisons? इन सोनेट नंबर 18 सोनेट नंबर 18 में बताया गया है कि सेल आई कंपेयर दी टू अ समर्स डे, विच लिटरेरी डिवाइस इज प्राइमरी यू टू द मेक द कंपेरिजन। ऐसे कौन से लिटरेरी डिवाइस हैं जो इसमें कंपेयर का बात किया है? तो ऑप्शन यहाँ पे है सिमली, मेटाफर, पर्सोनिफिकेशन, एलिट्रेशन। सो इसमें जो बताया गया कि सेल आई कंपेयर, मैं जो कंपेयर कर रहा हूँ एक समर्स डे के साथ, तो यहाँ पे हम बात करेंगे मेटाफर को। तो मेटाफर एक राइट आंसर होगा यहाँ पे, बिकॉज अ मेटाफर इज अ फिगर ऑफ स्पीच दैट इज डिस्क्राइब्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट और एक्शन बाय कंपेयरिंग इट टू समथिंग एल्स विदाउट यूजिंग लाइक और एज। In sonnet number 18, Shakespeare uses metaphor to compare his beloved to a summer's day. तो यहाँ पे विलियम शेक्सपियर ने अपने बिलवेड को एक समर्स डे के रूप में कंपेयर कर रहे हैं। तो इस प्रकार से यहाँ पे मेटाफर होगा। दिस मेटाफर अलाउज हिम टू कन्वे द आइडिया दैट हिज बिलवेड्स ब्यूटी इज मोर लास्टिंग than a summer's day, as well as emphasizes their timelessly and importance. There are also so simile. What is simile? So simile is also figure of speech, but when comparisons then use some words such as like or as. And then option number C, personification. Personification, that means मानवीय अलंकार, जिसको मानव के जैसा कंपेयर किया गया हो। और लास्ट ऑप्शन है एलिट्रेशन। एलिट्रेशन में रिपीटिशन ऑफ अ सेम वर्ड और अ सेम वॉवेल और कॉन्सोनेंट वर्ड्स। तो ऐसे हम बात करेंगे तो यहाँ पे ऑप्शन आपका जो है वो मेटाफर ही राइट आंसर होगा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, विच एलिजाबेथन पोइट्स Sifard's calendar is considered an important work in the pastoral tradition, consisting of 12 eclogues and that correspond to the months of the year. Option is given here. Number 1, Edmund Spenser, Sir Philip Sidney, Michael Drayton, and Thomas Campion. So, a right option is first Edmund Spenser. Why? Because Edmund Spencer Sifard's calendar is a significant work in the Elizabethan pastoral tradition. पेस्टोरल ट्रेडिशन में ज़्यादातर अगर बात करें तो यहाँ एडमंड स्पेंसर का थोड़ा वर्क ज़्यादा रहा। द वर्क comprises 12 eclogues and each representing a month of the year and features various shepherds engaging in a dialogues, singing, contest, or lamenting lost love. Shepherd's calendar was an influential work that helped establish Spencer's reputation as a poet and inspired other Elizabethan poets to explore the pastoral form. So, option number first is right answer, Edmund Spenser. Next, question number 5. In sonnet number 130, My mistress' eyes are nothing, the sun, Shakespeare uses which literary techniques to challenge traditional poetic conversation? So, option is given here. Number 1, hyperbola. Number 2, irony. Number 3, paradox. And number 4, anaphora. So, right answer is irony. And irony in the sonnet number 130 implies irony to challenge the idealized, exaggerated descriptions of beauty फाउंड इन ट्रेडिशनल लव पोइट्री। यहाँ पे एग्जेजरेट करके बताया जाता है, यानी किसी चीज़ को बढ़ा चढ़ा करके बताया जाता है। इसमें हम देखते हैं आयरनी। सो विलियम शेक्सपियर डिलिबरेटली अवॉइड्स यूजिंग अ कॉमन पोएटिक कन्वेंशन एंड क्लिंचेज instead option offer for realistic and unflattering descriptions of his mistress. In the sonnets, irony lies in the fact that despite these unflattering descriptions, the speaker still loves his mistress. So, emphasizing that the true love is not based on the superficial beauty. This technique allows Shakespeare to critique and traditional poetic conventions and offer a more genuine and expansion of the love. So, right answer is sonnet number 130. Then, irony is a right answer. Next question number 6. The Elizabethan poet Sir Philip Sidney is best known for his prose work, Arcadia, which combines elements of poetry and prose to create a unique form. What is the term for this hybrid literary form? So, first option is blank verse, and second option is a personification. So, this is a wrong answer. So, prosomitron, and number 3, Therjarima, and D, Valenly. So, correct answer is option second. Then prosomitrum. Prosomitrum is what? Arcadius by Sir Philip Sidney is an example of prosomitron, a literary form that combines elements of both poetry and prose. इसमें दोनों combine होता है, poetry और prose भी. So, in this work, Sidney interweaves prose narrative with poetic passage, such as sonnets, songs, and eclogues, to create a rich and varied reading experience. In this, in this story, is a seat is an idealized pastoral world and explore themes of love, honor, and virtue. So, right option is second, pros, uh, prosomitrum. Next, question number 7. In sonnet number 116, let me note to the marriage of a true minds. Which theme is most prevalent? So, option is given here. First option, beauty and youth, time and decay, loves and constancy, art and immortality. So, in the sonnet number 116, is a declaration of the power and enduring nature of true love. So, Shakespeare discusses the unvarying nature of true love, stating that it does not change with the time or external circumstances. The speaker asserts that the love is a constant and steadfast, even in the face of adversity. So, love is a constancy, the predominant theme at the sonnet seek to define true love as a unshakable and eternal. सोनेट नंबर 116 में बताया गया है कि नेचर ऑफ ट्रू लव यानी प्रकृति की एक सत्यता और उसके साथ जो सही रूप में प्यार जो होता है उस चीज को डिस्कस किया है। इसमें बताया गया है कि कौन सी लाइन है, लेट मी नो टू द मैरिज ऑफ ट्रू माइंड्स। तो दिस इज द लाइन ऑफ द सोनेट नंबर 116। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 8, which sonnet of Shakespeare's is often belong to the procreation sonnets? So option number first, sonnet number 29, sonnet number 55, sonnet number 23, sonnet number 1. So right answer is last, sonnet number 1, because in the first of a series of procreation sonnets, sonnet number 1 to 17, that encourages a young man to marry and produce offspring। क्योंकि विलियम शेक्सपियर ने ऐसे बहुत सारे सोनेट लिखे हैं, लेकिन सोनेट नंबर 1 से लेकर 17 तक जो है यंग मैन टू मैरी को डिनोट किया है, बताया है। द स्पीकर एड्रेसेस द यंग मैन एंड आर्ग्यू दैट बाय हैविंग चिल्ड्रेन ही कैन प्रिजर्व हिज ब्यूटी एंड वर्च्यू फॉर फ्यूचर जनरेशन। इन्होंने बताया है किस प्रकार से ब्यूटी और उसके वर्च्यू को बताया है। दिस सोनेट सेंटर्स अराउंड थीम्स ऑफ द प्री क्रिएशन यूथ एंड द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम। ठीक है, तो इसमें यूथ को डिस्कस किया है, किस प्रकार से पैसेज ऑफ टाइम है। सो द टर्म प्रोक्रिएशन सोनेट्स refers to specifically to this group of sonnets that promote the idea of having children to ensure one's is a legacy. So option number D is right answer, sonnet number 1. Next question number 9, in Elizabethan poetry, a specific form known as the bludgeon was used to describe a lover's physical attributes and through a catalogue of metaphors and simile. Which of the following as a critic of conventional poetic description? So, option number first is Stoffel and Stella by Sir Philip Sidney, The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser, and last sonnet number 130 by William Shakespeare. So, right answer is last, sonnet number 130 by William Shakespeare, because William Shakespeare is a prime example of the use of the bludgeon form or to critique conventional poetic description of beauty. So, in these questions in एलिजाबेथन पोइट्री में अगर बात करें तो विलियम शेक्सपियर एक ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं, पहले व्यक्ति हैं जिन्होंने पोइटिक डिस्क्रिप्शन को एक ब्यूटी यानी अच्छी तरीके से सजाया है, बताया है। In the sonnet, Shakespeare subverts the traditional bludgeon by employing realistic and unflattering description of his mistress, और अपने मिस्ट्रेस के प्रति या फिर और भी ऐसे चीज़ों को एक बताए हैं। The poem's ironic tone highlights the difficulty of conventional poetic language and suggests that the true love, और सत्यता की बात करते हैं और ट्रू लव यानी सच्चा प्रेम की बात करते हैं, by presenting an alternative or to the idealized highly stylized descriptions. So option number C, that means sonnet number 130 by William Shakespeare is the right answer. Thank you.